Okay, call the meeting to order. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bolt,
Here.
Commissioner Gillum,
Here.
Vice Mayor Harrod,
Here.
Mayor Finley,
Here.
Commissioner Rutherford,
Here.
Commissioner Seahorn,
Here.
Commissioner Salter.
Here.
Have a quorum.
Thank you. Item 1, citizens participation. Just to remind everyone, we had people call in or requested that they call in if they wanted to be on citizens participation. We had none, so we do not have an item 1. Item 2, would anyone like to pull anything from the consent agenda? Seeing none, would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Bolt, was that Commissioner Gillum that seconded?
I think so. I think it was.
Call the question. Call the roll, I guess.
Bolt,
Yes.
Gillum,
Yes.
Harrod,
Yes.
Finley,
Yes.
Rutherford,
Yes.
Seahorn,
Yes.
Salter.
Yes. Item 3, consideration of a budget amendment for Hotel Motel Fund 106, updating Department of Tourism budget to reflect changes because of COVID-19 and contract with Potawatomi County Historical Society.
Move we approve.
Moved by Commissioner Harrod,
I'll second it.
second by Commissioner Gillum. Is there any further discussion? Ashley, anything you need to tell us about any of this?
No, not particularly. We're just COVID because obviously we expect a decrease. It's mainly just delaying a few things until the next fiscal year.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Call the roll, please.
Bolt,
Yes.
Gillum,
Yes.
Harrod,
Yes.
Finley,
Yes.
Rutherford,
Yes.
Seahorn,
Yes.
and Salter.
Yes. Motion carries 7-0. Item 4, consider bids, request for proposal on the solid waste collection, recycling, and disposal services. Chance?
Mr. Mayor and Commissioners, thank you. The city's current contract with Central Disposal, which is our solid waste collection service, expires on June 30th of this year, 2020. The city issued a request for proposal for solid waste collection, recycling, and disposable services in February of 2020, with proposals to be received in March of 2020 of this year. We've received all of the proposals that were submitted. We only received one formal proposal, which was Central Disposal. The other firms just submitted some quotes and some rate sheets. With our RFP, we required the contractor to provide quotes for residential curbside pickup using the automated polycart system with both small and large size polycarts. We required quotes for curbside yard waste pickup service, as we currently have, a provision of a manned transfer station for solid and bulk waste, monthly residential curbside bulk pickup, the use of 4 roll-off containers for the city for cleanup projects at specific locations determined by us for various projects throughout each month. So 4 total for each month. We asked for approximately 150 sludge roll-off containers to be provided annually for our sludge handling at our south side and north side wastewater plants. We asked for the provision of residential curbside recycling services, as we currently have, solid waste removal at City of Shawnee facilities at no charge to the city, a special spring and fall cleanups. So we'd have 2 cleanups each year provided in the fall and both the spring. And so these would be collection points that would be manned by the firm of choice. We asked for 1 annual hazardous waste collection. So have a collection point each year for once a year in the spring. And then we asked for Shawnee residents to maintain our current use of bulk waste drop-off with 3 cubic yards at the transfer station if they provide a garbage bill. Central was the only firm to submit a proposal during this process. So for the past 10 years, Central has been providing our solid waste handling each day. And they've been an outstanding community partner to the city and has worked diligently to maintain a quality collection program, and the city receives limited complaints. In addition, during that 10-year period, they added recycling services to the city of Shawnee to expand their portfolio. Since Central is already well embedded in our community, with an effective work plan. If a selection of Central would require no transition, which would be beneficial to us. So effectively no services would change to the residents, whether it's yard side pickup, solid waste, or recycling. Their proposal will provide for reasonable fee increases to their services. And they asked for a rate increase on July 1. I've discussed with Central that they would defer this fee until we get past the pandemic, since we know people are currently hurting, whether it's they're unemployed or they have loss of work, whatever it is. So they're willing to work with us and to get past COVID-19. And as part of the proposal, Central is required, they've submitted all required affidavits and bonds, which we've examined our satisfaction. The staff would recommend the approval of the proposal with Central Disposal so that we can begin contract negotiation with them. You guys have any questions?
I have none.
I don't have any.
Would entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Who was that?
Vote. Darren. I don't know who's first.
To one of us.
Is there a second?
Second.
That was Commissioner Gillum, wasn't it? Call the roll.
Bolt,
Yes.
Gillum,
Yes.
Harrod,
Yes.
Finley,
Yes.
Rutherford,
Yes.
Seahorn,
Yes.
Salter.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries 7-0. Item 5, monthly sales tax and budget report. Ashley?
Yes, so the good news is our sales tax was still above the budget. So we are sitting for sales tax at 3.06% for the month. And we're sitting above year to date at 3.72. Use tax was also up. We were up 5.91% from projected budget, and we are still up 27.74% for the year. So we are continuing to monitor that, and we will make adjustments as needed. On the budget, so as the budget currently stands, as long as our revenues continue to support it as it is currently, everything is going well. We have not seen anything that is unexpected, and we do not foresee any issues with balancing. If I have any questions.
Do we have any news from the tax commission as to what the next check might look like?
No, so they have not. Are you talking about our next sales tax deposit?
Yes.
So we have not received any guidance from them. The city has been, as in finance, we have been watching from what other cities have seen, what the state is looking. The Board of Equalization for the state met today, and I plan on looking through their paperwork to kind of look at what they are projecting for the rest of the fiscal year, but we have not received anything specific from the tax commission for our city.
Do we have an emergency plan in place to deal with what adjustments we need to make from a personnel standpoint and cost chance in the event that our sales really fall off?
Sure. At this time, we don't expect to have losses so deep that we would have to have personnel action and have anything adverse as far as furloughs, layoffs, things like that. At this time, we don't expect to have to endure anything to that nature.
I would request that you all notify the commissioners at the earliest moment that we know what the next check is going to look like, so that we can begin to get prepared and talk among ourselves if we need to, and if we need to have a special session or something, that we can get that going.
Sure. Typically, we know somewhere between the 6th and the 10th of each month, at the beginning of each month, what sales taxes are going to look like for that deposit period.
Please just advise us when you can.
We will.
Any other questions of Chance or Ashley? Thank you very much. Is there any new business?
No new business.
Thank you. Commissioner comments. Ed?
Yes, sir. I won't have a whole lot tonight. I do want to thank Ashley and Chance and staff for the hard work they've done on the budget and our finances right. We're in a lot better place than we were just a few years ago, and that's because you guys have worked this so hard, and I know everyone in Shawnee is going to really appreciate that. You got us as ready as anybody could be for a situation like this. None of us have lived through anything like this. And, something struck me the other day to show you just how odd this situation is. You can walk into a bank now with a mask on your face and everybody's relieved. Not too long ago, that wouldn't have worked very well. So odd times we're living in. But I would just encourage everybody to continue to be kind with each other, be patient with each other. We're all going through a mess. One of the things that, I heard the other night that I think is going to ring true is that one of the things we'll remember the most when we get on the other side of this, and we will get on the other side, is how we treat each other. So I think that'll make a big impact. The only other thing I want to say is that when you go spend money, do it here in Shawnee. We need that more now than ever. So everybody take care. Thank you.
Okay,
Well,
Ron.
I can only concur with your comments. I'm sorry. Are you complete there?
Yes,
Did I interrupt you? I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Ron.
I can only say I agree with Ed, certainly on the be kind, speak softly to each other. We're not used to being cooped up like this. I know, especially if you got 3 kids in the house and all those things, but this too will pass. And the results of this will be with us for a while, but it won't be here forever. And I feel like we'll probably be recovering from this in a relatively short time and come back to the nation that we know and we love. And
Thank you. James?
Well, I'd just like to mention that, again, what Ed was talking about, appreciate the staff and the city manager's hard work on the budget, and especially appreciate Ashley's excellent financial reporting. That just makes our job a lot easier. And I can see from the finances that, we're probably in pretty good shape through the end of June anyhow. I just take a few words from Tim Berg. I don't know how many of you get his Monday memo, but to quote him, if there's ever a good time to shop locally, it is now. Now is a time when we should pay even greater attention to do just that, is to shop locally. Our sales tax collections will greatly be affected in the coming months, so we need to remember to, like I said, to shop Shawnee. That's all I have, Richard.
Thank you, James. Darren?
Covered it pretty well. Shop local. That's what's going to keep everybody going, and hopefully things start to open back up in a correct manner and in a timely manner that's going to be what's best for us.
Okay, thank you.
My turn, I guess, now.
Your turn.
All right. I want to compliment Ashley on the reports. It sure makes it easy to kind of know where we're at. The shopping local is a huge thing, not only from a sales tax for the city, but a lot of these businesses that have been affected by this and curbside, it's shot their budgets horribly, to where we need to be aware of those individuals and really make sure that we go and use them. Otherwise, some of these businesses that's been around here for years may not be here unless we're pretty diligent in supporting them. So hopefully we can kind of get away from the stay at home here the next few weeks and kind of slowly ease into it. I think we need to do it, slowly, but with some caution, because we definitely don't want to flare it back up. All we got.
Okay, Ben?
Well, I concur with what everyone has said tonight. I would just encourage the public to keep those keys going on your computer and ordering and buying online. Let's keep this tax from falling as far as it maybe could. That's it.
Okay, thank you. The governor's order will expire before we meet again at our first meeting next month. I am not inclined to do anything beyond what the governor is going to require. But as I begin to think about the roll-off of how we get these businesses back open, once again, I'd like some feedback from each of you guys at your convenience. I'm inclined to suggest that different businesses are going to need to be treated differently. You're going to handle someone like Tom and Nick Shepherd completely different than the way it's going to get handled at Walmart or Hobby Lobby. So again, we may want to prepare some literature from the city, Chance, in terms of a recommendation, or Joe, if there are some best practices out there that you can kind of glean of something that we can send out to the retailers as to what recommended procedures are. And again, I would encourage people to just use their judgment. We know that a very small mom and pop business is going to be a lot different than going to the grocery store. So again, I'm not inclined to put in place a bunch of restrictions beyond what the governor might require, but those are my thoughts. And so please give me your feedback at your convenience. Again, we're adjourned to the Shawnee Airport Authority and would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Harrod,
Second.
second by Commissioner Sehorn. Call the roll.
Bolt,
Yes.
Gillum,
Yes.
Harrod,
Yes.
Finley,
Yes.
Rutherford,
Yes.
Sehorn,
Yes.
and Salter.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0. Item 2, authorize staff to accept and execute Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, CARES, Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, Airport Improvement Program, AIP, and the State of Oklahoma Aeronautic Commission grant offers in support of current airfield rehabilitation projects at the Shawnee Regional Airport. Is Bonnie with us?
I am. I don't think you can see me because I think my camera left me just as I logged in, but can you hear me clearly?
We can hear you.
All right. If that's legal, then I'll proceed.
Proceed.
I apologize for the convoluted nature of the email, the memo, and the grant programs, but it's a variety of things that are piling up all at one time. I'm sure you're all aware that with the stimulus packages, there have been some last minute changes and adjustments to the standard rules and procedures. So what I'd like to just walk through very quickly and slow me down if I'm creating a zigzag trail here. Under the CARES Act, the Federal Aviation Administration made grants available across all airports. There was a set aside for general aviation airports. And then within that set aside, they used the standard formula that they use for what I would call regular grants to allocate certain funds just in blocks. It didn't have to necessarily be tied to a particular project or a particular cost. This is just to get money into the system. And our allocation under that program is the $30,000 you see in the first section of the memo. The other good news is that the grants that we expect to receive in this fiscal year to support the taxiway and runway construction project will no longer have a 10% match from the local participant. That has been waived by the CARES Act. So that puts us in a very good position as far as that goes. The special discretionary funds that we received in fiscal year 19 will still carry a match, and we're hoping to get some participation from the state of Oklahoma to help us meet that 10% match. I recognize that the state of Oklahoma is a bit challenged right now, as are we, but we feel very confident that we'll be able to keep these projects going as these funds become available. The request from staff is to authorize the city manager to accept and execute these grants as they come to us. The FAA is shortening the timeframes and literally sending out pre-filled out grant application forms to ensure that these funds reach the economy as quickly as possible. So in order to make sure that we can stay on track and are not required to ask you all to please have a special meeting for approval, we're asking for a presumptive approval for the city manager to execute these grant applications as they come to us. And as we get the final numbers, of course, we'll report those back to you. The funds have to be used for the taxiway and runway projects that are in process now. So there won't be any flexibility on where we might choose to spend them. It is constrained by that particular program.
Joe, does that pass with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Who was that?
Darren,
Darren,
Second.
moved by Commissioner Rutherford. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Bolt. Call the roll, please.
Bolt,
Yes.
Gillum,
Yes.
Harrod,
Yes.
Finley,
Yes.
Rutherford,
yes.
Seahorn,
Yes.
Salter.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0. Is there any new business?
No new business.
We are adjourned to the Shawnee Municipal Authority. And once again, would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Gillum. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Rutherford. Call the roll.
Bolt,
Yes.
Gillum,
Yes.
Harrod,
Yes.
Finley,
Yes.
Rutherford,
Yes.
Seahorn,
Yes.
Salter.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries 7-0. Is there any new business?
No new business.
We are adjourned.